listen to the song. The song says, I am going to say the words. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, 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 ow. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ouch. Huh? Say the words. I prick my tongue with a needle. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. I prick my tongue with a needle. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ouch. Ow, ow, ouch. Now try and sing this song. Let me hear. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ouch. Again. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. I prick my tongue with a needle. Ow, ow, ouch. Now we are going to the next sound. Listen to the story. The engine of the ship has broken down. The sailors see another ship and call for a help, shouting, "Oi, ship ahoy!" What sound did you hear? Oi. Huh? Oi. 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 Sound is, action is, oi. Again. Oi. 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 Two letters. How many sounds? One sound. Huh? One sound. And the sound is? Oi. Huh? Oi. 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 Now, listen to this song. The sailors met upon the sea. Oi, 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 oi. They found some oil, lay down it. Oi, oi, ship ahoy. Huh? Oi, oi, ship ahoy. Huh? Now, let us say the words. The sailors met upon the sea. The sailors met upon the sea. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. They found some oil, lay down it. They found some oil, lay down it. Oi, oi, ship ahoy. Oi, oi, ship ahoy. Now let us try this song after two. 1, 2. The sailors met upon the sea. Oi, 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 oi. They found some oil, lay down it. Oi, oi, ship ahoy. Again. The sailors met upon the sea. Oi, 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 oi. They found some oil, lay down it. Oi, oi, ship ahoy.
Good evening, Mr. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. We've learned that the ministry has once again recognized the importance of teaching phonics in our schools, particularly to the lower graders. Can you tell us why has the ministry decided to come up again with this initiative of teaching phonics in our schools, particularly to the lower graders?
Well, I think the genesis of this whole initiative came from the discovery that we made way back in 2006 by working in some classrooms and testing these kids at random to see their, reading abilities. It was at that point that we were able to establish that there were kids who could not, read. And we had to, establish those facts using, scientific methods. And through our work with the Research Triangular Institute of the United States and the support we received from the World Bank, we were able to establish, the extent of the problem of reading in our education system by conducting what we call an early grade reading assessment, which would look at the issue of phonetics. Are kids able to identify the correct sounds? Are kids able to put those sounds together to form a word? Are kids able to give the correct pronunciation of a word, etc.? And this research was able to help us establish things like how many, correct words can kids, read per minute by the different grades. How many sounds are they able to, identify correctly in maybe in the word? Because some words, have 2 or 3 sounds that you would put together to, to form the word. And when we discovered these facts showing us exactly the proportion of the kids in grade 1 and 2 and 3 who could not do certain things, we then had to come up with some initiatives to be able to address that. That's what gave birth to this intervention on, phonetics, because we realized that it was the lack of teaching phonetics that created this problem.
So what's the relationship between the improvement of the literacy skills of the pupils and that of their general performance? Do they in any way link? What's the relationship? What is the link between? What's the importance of teaching these phonetics, particularly to the lower graders?
Well, as you know, if a child cannot read a question to understand what it is asking for, it will be difficult for the child to answer correctly any question that he or she must attempt in an examination setting or a test setting. In fact, this we have established is one of the biggest problems in the poor performance that kids have at the end of the final year in grade 9 or even grade 12. And if it is a problem that continues from the lower grades to the upper grades, you find out that at the end of it all, if kids are unable to read and interpret the questions and understand the questions, they will not be able to answer. So really, there is a strong correlation between the